So today we are looking at using weirded formula, okay? So when I say the word weirded, I'm not looking at x plus 3 equals y, blah, 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 okay? These are weird problems which are extremely common in all of the papers, but there's a couple of little steps that you need to make sure you follow in order to get the correct answer. So I've picked three very general questions really for me to go through here now, okay? There are a lot of words. Get yourself a highlighter, get yourself a pen or a pencil, and we can have a go. So 3 neighbours hired a cement mixer. The cost of hiring the mixer is given by the following formula. Total cost equals £30 per day plus insurance. They hired the mixer for 4 days at a total cost of £144. How much did they pay for the insurance? Right, we do have a lot of words, but as I say, I'm going to get a highlighter and I'm going to just minimize this and look at what's important. So they hired the mixer for 4 days at a total cost of £144. How much did they pay for the insurance? Right. So I can see where these words are coming from now. We've got per day, we've got 4 days. Total cost, and insurance is up there. So we've covered all the bases. But now we're going to use a skill called substitution. Exactly the same as watching sport. Substitute someone that's come off the field, replace it with someone else. So basically, we're going to put some numbers into that there. Okay, so if I've got total cost first, we know the total cost is £144. So I have taken out the words and replaced it with numbers. £30 per day, but we have 4 days. So this will be 30 multiplied by 4. Then we've got the insurance, of which we don't know what it is just yet. I've put this in brackets, okay, not to confuse you, but that's just to show that's where the substitution element happened, okay? So I've got 30 times 4, £30 for 4 days. So now we have a total cost of £144. 30 times 4 is 120. So now we've got 120, add the insurance to make £144. So this here then, even if I put it as a square, what do I add to 120 to make 144? Well, it's got to be £24. But the way I got £24 is, here comes the algebra bit. I've used the inverse operation to solve. Basically, I've worked backwards and I've taken away, okay, to find the difference. So 144 take away 120 is 24. I would just show the examiner on the side what we've done. Of course, we can do that in our heads, but we show the examiner what we've done with all of our methods. And then, so the last bit then, we've got how much they pay for insurance. Insurance equals £24, just like that. So one of the neighbours said he would pay 2/3 of the total cost, as he would be using the mixer the most. The other two neighbours shared the remaining cost equally. How much did each of these 2 neighbours pay? Well, the total cost was £144. So if that was £144, this first neighbour said he paid 2/3 of the total cost. So that means 2/3 of 144. So this is not a formula question, this is a fraction of quantity question. So you divide by the bottom, you have to work out how many 3's go into 144. 3 doesn't go into 1, 3 goes into 14. 4 times 2 left over, 3 goes into 24 8 times. So 1/3 is 48, 2/3 would be 96. So he would pay £96, and then the remaining costs would be shared equally between the other 2. So if we had a total cost of 144, subtract the £96 of what the first neighbour is using, is going to be contributing. So 4 take away 6, we can't do it. Have to borrow. 14 take away 6 is 8. 3 take away 9, we can't do it. So that leaves £48 left to share equally. 48 divided by 2 is £24. So how much did each of the two neighbours pay? They paid £24 each. And you'll find these sort of questions very, very popular with these questions, because you might get a fraction of quantity, you might get a percentage question, you may get a ratio question. Okay, so it's not necessarily just the substitution element. You have to be quite efficient with your number skills in order to access all of the marks on these questions. Let's look at another one. So I'm going to get my highlighter, and a window cleaner takes 15 minutes to clean each window in a large building. He charges using the following formula. Payment equals £8 multiplied by the number of hours worked, and then add a call-out charge. So the calculate the payment for cleaning 20 windows, and the call-out charge is £12. Okay, so now, using substitution, let's start putting some numbers into where the words are in the question. Do we know the payment? No, because we have to calculate the payment. So the payment equals £8 multiplied by the number of hours worked. But it takes 15 minutes to clean a window. So that means it takes, 15 minutes equals one window. We've got 20 windows. So if that's 15 minutes for one, that means it takes 60 minutes for 4 windows. Well, I've picked 60 minutes because obviously that is an hour. But we're getting 20 windows. What have I done to get from 4 to 20? Times it by 5. So I do the same here. Times by 5. Well, 60 minutes is 1 hour. Okay, so that means we have 300 minutes, which is the same as 5 hours. The reason why I've used hours, because we says here, number of hours worked. Be careful, this is in minutes, this is in hours. Time is again a popular concept in these exams, so be careful with the wording being used. So the payment is £8 multiplied by the number of hours worked, which we said was 5, and then we plus a call-out charge of 12. Okay, now that looks a lot easier than all of this. Okay, so the payment 8 times 5, then add 12. So let's work that out. We've got the payment equals 8 times 5 is 40. Add the 12 for £52. Just like that. I used a P here just to abbreviate it, make it a little bit simpler. Obviously, I've included my pound sign with the question. So, with that one, be careful, minutes and hours. Okay, if you converted to a decimal, okay, if you're allowed to use a calculator, 15 minutes is not 0.15. I know you're tempted, but 15 minutes is quarter of an hour. Think of a clock. 15 minutes, quarter past. A quarter as a decimal is 0.25. Okay, so that there, 0.25. Be careful. Again, as I said, we have fractions of quantity, could be percentages, could be ratio. We're now using decimals with time. Okay, so this part here is quite simple. Substitution is quite simple. It's the wording and the extra skills that make the marks up for these questions. Have a really good go, and I hope it helps.